chemicals to make this. That's a bit harder to do. But if you make sure that cloth never exists here and you always buy it up, sometimes you'll tear it down due to lack of that. Although, I don't think cloth has been particularly rife here, and we haven't seen him tear them down. Another thing you can do is ensure that he gets no workers. So if you have all the workers in the city, he'll try to build a new business, he'll get no workers, and he'll tear it down. That's why Lubeck never sees other businesses, because we have everyone working for us. And finally, what you can do, the ultimate asshole move, is to buy up all the food in the city to make sure that everybody starves, and then you grab one of your fleets that can attack. Where's Hunter when we need him? This is where Reza the Killer will make his mark. Hunter. What you can do is fly the pirate flag, and then blockade Danzig. And that means they won't get any deliveries, they'll only have what they produce locally. People will starve, people will leave and die, and the whole place will be desolate. And in that, your competitor will tear down a lot of his businesses due to all of the above. No staff for them, not able to make any money off of them, the place is full of the goods that they produce and no one buys. That is the best way to do it. However, the colourful cow is a super fleet which will come out and ruin your life for doing that, so do it at your own peril. So I did that to both Danzig and Lubeck, so that they would become a lot more profitable for me to come in and buy up. Worked a lot better in Lubeck than it did Danzig. Danzig bounced back, then died again, and then bounced back again. It was a complicated time. So that's how you drive your competitors out. It's one of the more interesting parts of the game, really. Is this EU5, says Yangus Beef. Well, it would have to be a sub-part of EU5. And it would definitely have to be better than this. Okay, well, I'm glad we had that little distraction. Let's carry on with time until it's London boys time. Still not satisfied with Rostock having too many people when Oslo is the one that needs population right now. They're wealthy. Did I absolutely finish Oslo here, as in no space for anything else? We'll soon see if the AI can build out here. I hope they can't, but I wouldn't put it past them if they could. And if they do, I'll have to make sure that they can't get any workers whatsoever. Then it won't matter if they build these, because they won't get workers, they'll destroy them. In the end, it has no impact economically. And that's what we care about. Economies. Salt. We need more salt, they say. Yeah, they are certainly going to need a lot more salt, so I'm going to need to crank up that salt production soon. So I'm going to look to see where I can build up that will produce plenty of salt. The answers are Boston and Riga. If I do Riga, they'll do cheese. If I do Boston, they will only do salt. But I don't know, that's a hell of a lot of salt. Probably be too much. Is it possible to completely eliminate your competitors? Yes. I'm going to have to leave it at that for now, with regards to that answer at least. Okay, I do want more people in Oslo though, it is true. So we're going to grab the people mover, and we're going to move some people from Rostock, as we do of course. Let's drive down that population, as long as it drives down the production of wheat. Can't remember if Rostock is meant to end up having more wheat or less wheat later on. I should check on that because it's kind of important. Late game Rostock is hard to find on my map for some reason. There we go. It's only 126 grain later on. And I have more than that, so actually if I end up needing more grain than I produce here, I'm going to be in hot water. But I mean, we have plenty to sit back on right now. And if we have other goods, like meat and cheese, then it's no bad thing. But I'm working on the meat situation. Let's go and pump more of it out by moving people up to Oslo. The same Oslo, which they drink a lot of salt. But hey, whatever keeps that meat flowing. And I don't mind overproducing meat because it's very low tonnage. Now I probably don't use the right phrasing when I say low tonnage, but allow me to explain that for a moment. The 10-day demands for the likes of wheat are huge, 733, just like it is for other simple goods here. Hundreds of hemp, loads of brick. But when you check out demand for meat, it's pretty low, 139, even lower for wine. And that's what I mean by low tonnage. You know, producing lots of meat is a lot lower a value than producing lots of grain. That is important to me. Alright, so that's good. Oslo's becoming something of a mega city. And it's a bit of a shame that I'm not even the ruler of it. But it means their demands for, or their consumption of salt is going through the roof. And do I still have tons of salt? I sold off a lot of it earlier on, and maybe I'm going to regret that soon. It's not impossible. Not impossible. Okay, I need to pay attention to my election cycles here. London is in 13th. Destroy them. And I am sorely tempted to build up Boston for more of that sweet salt. Boston is an option, but then so is Riga. And Riga is already growing. At least it'll eat into the wood. Ignore that. I got all these dairies that kind of need to go anyway. Yeah, away they go. To be clear, I'm not expecting any cheese out of Riga, right? Actually, 72 cheese out of Riga. So I better not tear down too many of these. There we go. Let's get salty. Which is a phrase I really, really don't like. What is salty? What is salty that isn't childish? Alright, that's kind of like a... It's a drop in the ocean, really, compared to what I'm trying to do. But hey, it is what it is. And I want to make sure that, yeah, we're at 100% for that. Good. Good, good, good. We'll continue on with the elections, because we gotta hit up London. Jake, do your competitors ever scuttle their ships if they can't make trade profit anymore? I don't know how the AI works with their ships. You see them floating around, and you certainly see more of them now than you ever saw before. I mean, there's Pushkin 2. I think is there Pushkin 7? And you can't destroy them. If you fight them, they almost always just give in. Also, Christ, you're fast. The wool to shreds guy. Harlem needs to produce a lot more wool. Since I'm actually overdoing it with the other stuff, why don't I pump down the production of wood and clay here? So that we can get our wool production back on track. Great. Works for me. Also, I completely forgot what else I was doing. Alright, London, 13th. Does the game end when you hit the money cap? In a way, because it goes to negative 2 billion. And that's a bit of a game ender. Alright, it's the 14th. We are now Mayor of London. At least we better be. And that means London gets no money whatsoever. But that's okay, because we're going to fix London. Starting with their stupid, well, university actually. Starting with their stupid wall. The London Wall caused me some real issues earlier. Whoa! What was their problem? London's massive. Look at all this space that we wouldn't have been able to work with earlier. That's going to take a while to build, but that's okay. London is not much of a concern for me, because London is going to produce beer and nothing but beer. And apparently the population is capped at 551,000? That's tiny. I am convinced we'll get a lot more people than that in London. But that is what I've planned around, so what we'll have is, if somewhere else is lacking on wood, tools, grain, or honey, I can use London to help them out with that. Very clever of me, I agree. In any case, I don't see if they have any infirmaries or chapels already. No, they got their mint and their university, but that's fine for them. So we're going to do the mayoral thing. And in the knowledge that London might be bigger, I'm actually going to build 20 of these. (16, 17, 18, 19, 20). Because I'm convinced London can be made bigger and better than ever before. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9, 10, 11, 12, 13, 14, 15, 16, 17, 18, 19, 20. Good. London also upgraded this thing, and that means they're going to grow, actually. That's a bit concerning. That population is going to spike up, and I don't have a lot of houses here. Gonna have to weather some storms until I build up every city. And trust me when I say that's gonna take some time. But this is why we have hundreds of millions of ducats. Because it's very necessary. For complete Hanseatic satchit. No, stop it. Really. Trying to forget that game. Can't believe that happened to Wesker. What were they thinking? Were they thinking? Okay, I have 102 businesses. They're all breweries. I could keep down the level of population here artificially. And that sounds like something I want to do, so I'm going to buy this beekeeper.
Now that's an offer I simply cannot refuse.
And have nobody working there.
Take the business with my blessing.
Yeah, sod off. Okay. Alright, London is done. We're moving on to Bruges. I like Bruges, even though I've neglected it pretty much constantly. They're alright on the housing cap, but the main reason I like it is because it's pretty metal. Pretty metal place. And that is it for Bruges, I believe. If I look at them, Bruges is going to be... No, actually, Bruges is going to be a fish producer, because we don't have many of those. It's going to be 183 metal, which is quite a lot, actually. Maybe I should step that up pretty soon. Ideally, once I do all these places, as in I've electored all of them and built their walls, I will build all of them up so that they grow equally. So that means I don't end up like overproducing metal but not enough metal goods because I didn't build up the metal goods place. No, I want to do them all equally. And then they can all grow, and then whilst the metal production goes up, so too does the demand for metal. Same for hemp, salt, everything. The only outliers are going to be the ones that I turbocharged at the start, and those are, of course, Haarlem and Rostock, Oslo, and Novgorod. Is there anywhere else that I've turbocharged up and forgotten about? Oh yes, Aarhus, of course. And what do these places have in common? They produce... What am I even looking at? They produce food, and they produce building materials. That's the common thread there. I could sell everything at cheap prices and still get the rent and such. That's right. Can you not do something like change your prices around at 1 billion to not make money? Yeah, I could. I could keep the market super saturated so I make almost no profit on my goods. That would work. Yeah, I could kind of keep myself pegged at 2 billion that way. Or just below it. Alright, London's looking fine. We need to think where we move on next, and the answer is, of course, Bruges. I already said that, but I got distracted thinking about metal. As ever, we move. I did build everything in London, right? Ah well, what's done is done. We're running for election here now. 22nd, that'll be done. Now, is there anything else I need to do right now? I mean, we are really piling up with these goods. It does mean I could shift people out of Aarhus right now, but honestly, we can survive like this for another few months, and then I can do a lot of people moving. We're gonna move people.
So, that's what you get.
Oh no, my reputation in London was damaged. Yeah, realize that I employ 2,217 people of the working class, and there are about 2,600 working class people here. Working class. One worker has a family of 3, so you can quarter your population, and that's how many workers you have. So on the 22nd, I'll take over in Bruges, and then that's getting the regular treatment. One person in the pub that rants about you. That's pretty much it. But that's a good sign that you're doing well, if the AIs really want to screw you over like that. And I have a lot to say about the phrase screw you over, but for another time. Actually, hopefully for a never time. I don't want to be the kind of person that rants on about thoughts like that. Alright, what's happening over in Bruges? Not a lot. We're going to fix that because they get a cathedral, they get a relevant shipyard, a university, a statue of me, and a better wall. Over it goes. That can't go out further, neither can that, nor that. That can move though. Beautiful. And again, I don't see infirmaries or chapels, but I'm not looking very hard. I'm giving a cursory look over. Bruges, population, talk to me. Bruges is meant to only house 45,000 people, and I can see that. The wall doesn't come out that well, it's kind of odd shaped. Even so, that's very small. Bruges could probably do better than that, but we're going with that. Which means they only need 15 of these. I'll give them a bit more. I'll give them like 16, I think. Just because I want to be prepared for if they are able to house more. So 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9, 10, 11, 12, 13, 14, 15, 16, 17. Yeah, sure, 17, why not? 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9, 10, 11, 12, 13, 14, 15, 16, 17. Yeah, I'll roll with it. Tons of warehouses, which is good. Population cap, kind of firmly away, but I like things to be pretty damn firm, so let's keep it that way. Never forget that you could be smelting harder. I only have smelters here as well, so let's bump that up a touch. Well, firstly by demolishing that one, because it kind of just gets in the way of everything else. Okay. Sure, I didn't want to build there anyway. This is just getting weird now. What the hell is that? Okay, but that doesn't allow me to artificially keep down the population, so I'm gonna buy a foreign business that is not a smelter. Come on AI, do me a favor here. What do you got? What are you selling? I think I almost ran the AI out entirely here. Okay, all of his businesses are smelters. Okay. Well, that's a thing, isn't it? Well, I'm going to have fish production anyway, so I'll start that up and just not run them. If I can remember to turn them off, which I will not. I'll write that on my to-do. 0% fish in Bruges to control population. Beautiful. Sterilize the Bruges. Alright, and with that, we've built what we need in Bruges, which is kind of excellent. Strange that you don't get the building icon above infirmaries and chapels, but there are lots of strange things in this game. Can't be too worried about all of them. Great. So with Bruges done, next up is what I've been told is called Groningen. Or Groningen. Maybe you need to get that guttural noise going. So we have a whole month until then. We go to Groningen. We notice that they have storage costs, so we're going to have to look into that in a moment. Otherwise, personal, move there, and join us. Did I take all the money from Bruges? I'm beginning to think that I did not. So, storage costs, why? Tons of metal goods in Groningen. You've been hiding them from me. Which means your metal has actually been flowing properly. That's good. That's a good thing. The Groningen to Rostock Grain Swole Patrol is here. And so is the Falklands Tool Brigade. Get back to work. You take 8 days to do it. You could stand to be bigger, actually. Where are you? 2 is probably plenty. 3, I know I'm not messing around. Really though, those tools have got to be shared out with all these people that need to build up their places. And these ministers, yeah, it's okay. It would just mean AIs would infest me. That's really not how you pronounce it, but it could be worse. Oh, come on. Bloody Dutch. In any case, we've got a month until then, so save and not accidentally load, and carry on. Whilst admiring this massive amount of goods that we have here. The bricks are flowing, and that is promising. Get away. The wool is not flowing. That's concerning. But I think... No, I think the Haarlem still does have their wool moving guy, so it's just playing catch up with the world. What I could do with all this stuff is start really building up the center parts, but I'm going to save the build up for another day, preferably a day when I have the entire day to just waste on this, because that's how long it's going to take me to build up all the stuff in these places. Also, I'm not happy with that, but that's okay. (22nd of March), I can't miss that. Oh, how is Novgorod looking? Population is growing, but it's not exactly bursting. Maybe I should bring them some people. But for that I'd need the Krayers. And you don't even hold that many people. Oh well, whatever saves the people from starvation. Again, I just chuck people out of the grain. And then I go to the pub, where I find everybody drowning their sorrows, and I abduct them, and I say, time for your new Russian life. And they mishear me and think they're getting a new Russian wife. Off you go. We're in the 10th, we need to be on the 22nd before we can do things. Plenty of northern Germans in Russia, right? There we go. And we find a spare Krayer who could kind of happily join us. Oh, we've also got a large shipyard, so I could stop making Krayers and start making something relevant, but I wouldn't get all my money back on those Krayers, so no thanks. Back we go. And the population of Novgorod jumps up. Still enjoying prosperity as well. I wonder if I could give them another meal for the poor. We would need some meat and beer. They don't have meat. They have beer. What was the other thing they need? Fish and mead. I got both of those. There we go. So again, the daily increase of people shoots right up again. As well it should. I don't have many auto boats left. Relatively speaking. I mean, there's almost about as many as there were before, but with so many people that actually have specified routes, there are not many autos. I wonder how long I can leave these pirate hideouts for, because I do not want to faff around with them. Alright, Groningen, it is time for you to give me all your money. The Dutch should be used to that. And we're almost at 200 million for the first time in this entire campaign. Okay, mayoral duties. First off, to the wall. Now you might be thinking, Jake's been doing the same thing for almost 4 hours in this. Isn't he bored by now? Mate, you clearly don't understand that only boring people get bored. Alright, I remember this from before. It's one of the cities where the better wall actually goes inside the other wall. But I think it's a net profit on space here. Glorious, get to work. Now, as for you, the size estimate in Groningen is only 55,000, so I need 19 still of the chapels and 19 infirmaries. I don't see any right now. Still don't see any. Still don't see any. Alright, 19 it is. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9, 10, 11, 12, 13, 14, 15, 16, 17, 18, 19. Why were they complaining about lack of university? 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9, 10, 11. I don't like this hemp farm.
You're willing to pay many times what this business is worth? I'm sure I can't imagine how you ever made it this far.
Unfortunately, the road remains. Oh well, can't win them all. I also lost count of how many infirmaries I had built. 1, 2, 3, and 8 means 11. 12, 13, 14, 15, 16, 17, 18, 19. And we are above the population cap for the AI building new houses, so let's stop that dead in its tracks. Also get your hemp farms out of my face. This damn hippie. Alright, that should have done in the, well, that. Producing grain in Groningen as well we should. What else are we meant to be doing here in Groningen? Must be those metal goods, right? Yeah, 50 tools. But I don't think we really do that properly. I got 80 of these. The final form for Groningen is still 50 grain and 50 tools and 450 fish. So I actually need to cut down a lot of this grain stuff and start thinking about fish. And trust me, I'm thinking about fish here. So I'll probably dismantle some of this grain, but later. I don't want to give the AI the advantage here. It's just to give these workers somewhere to go that is not my competitor's business. Alright, so I need to make a note of that as well. What's that? So, Groningen, reduce grain to 50 fields. Good. I'll buy out the AI later on. Okay, so with all that stuff, Groningen is done and dusted, and I can strike them off. Next up is Cologne. I like how all the areas have their elections at around about the same time. Makes it a lot easier to worm through the area. I die a little inside every time. Okay, well, grab that vocal site thing or whatever it is, and give me a recording of how you say Groningen, and then I can perfect it. Don't link me to someone else saying it. I want to hear you say it. Well, let's be honest, it's Dennis. I do not want to hear one word out of his traitorous bastard lips. But, you see what I'm trying to say here. Next up, though, is Cologne. We can take this place over on the 27th. You wonder how I know that before I clicked here? It's because I already wrote up my list. Also, looks like we capped the population here, which is good business sense by me. What else am I thinking here? Thinking they're lacking hemp. How is that even possible? Well, let's get moving. And run. For election, that is. I didn't miss something about storage goods in one of these previous places, did I? It was Bruges, right? And then I built a whole bunch of warehouses. That sounds like something I would do. Still, it's Cologne in just a few days. Can I ask a question about EU4 in here? Should I wait for an EU4 stream? Go for it, big bzz here, but tag me